Honorable Ministers and distinguished guests, Namaskar. It's a great pleasure to interact with all of you at the Global Town Hall event. I would like to thank FPCI and Global Citizen for inviting me. Today's theme, Keeping Course, Actions and Solutions for a Messy World, is very pertinent given its state. So why is the world messy? For a variety of reasons, of which a notable one is that we are witnessing a period of great change. The fact is that such developments in real life are actually very difficult, unpredictable, and perhaps even chaotic. After all, any transformation is a process with outcomes, and the players involved often do not have a prior understanding in that regard. In truth, the instincts and interests that drive change are mostly competitive. Therefore, by its very nature, we cannot usually forecast accurately where a world in serious flux ends up. Nevertheless, it is the task of those in foreign policy to assess trends, read the landscape, and fashion strategy for their particular national interest. The current times are clearly challenging in that regard, and much of what we have seen has actually surprised the world. Let us consider some of the key directions and developments in international relations recently. Over the last few decades, we have witnessed the unfolding of globalization that has driven a rebalancing in the world order that has matured to a point where there is talk of a genuine multipolarity emerging in the near future. Now, this is a far cry from anything that the world has experienced since 1945. It is not just that there will be more players of consequence, it is also that the relative weight has undergone a big shift. Furthermore, the approach of nations to global issues is no longer the same. Many big powers are now content to do less, and the newer ones more reticent about stepping forward. In many situations, it is left to the regionally significant players to sort out their own particular mess. Beyond this, we are also looking at a more sharpened contestation between the US and China on a range of areas. If we also take into account that technology advances like AI, electric mobility, space, or drones can shape balances of power more strongly, then the global calculus looks even more daunting. This, in essence, is the world that we deal with. What can a country like India do in response to such a situation? First, it can build up its own national capacities so that there are more options and contributions that benefit the entire world. We have seen this during the COVID pandemic in terms of vaccine production capacity, or in the Arabian Sea to strengthen maritime security, as indeed in the supply of food grains to those in great need. Second, to de-risk the global economy from pandemics, climate events, and conflicts, help build more resilient, reliable, and redundant supply chains. This means working with global partners more efficiently and creating an environment where it is easier to do business. Many of the recent infrastructure initiatives in India will make a difference in that regard. Third, in the digital domain, create trusted partnerships and trusted vendors. This will ensure that sensitivities at home that we have about our data are equally respected when they cross our borders. Fourth, those who have relevant achievements and experiences in the global south have a responsibility to share with others. India's digital public infrastructure is a case to point. And fifth, while we must constantly build new mechanisms and press for reformed multilateralism, be willing to work with like-minded partners on specific agendas. The Quad is one such example. So friends, let me conclude by underlining that even as the world looks complicated, India's desire and determination to ensure its stability and contribute to its prosperity is only stronger. I hope the thoughts I have placed before you are helpful in your deliberations. I thank you for your attention.